name's Mrs. Thomas and I'm responsible for Media Studies at GCSE and at A-Level. If you're watching this video, you're probably considering Media Studies as one of your A-Level subjects. Good for you! Media Studies is one of the most diverse and current subjects on offer at A-Level and combines disciplines from English, photography, art, business, psychology, sociology, to name a few. Some of you will have studied media at GCSE, but for those who haven't, media is the study of how media institutions use media language to construct representations of people, places, events, anything really, and then how audiences also respond to that. Media encourages you to think critically about the world around you. It also allows you to be an informed and discerning consumer of media, which in this current age is pretty important. There's a lot of information in this video because I want to be as thorough as possible in terms of what is available in the A-Level and a lot of the content and requirements for each section. So I'll include some timestamps, and this video is available online as a reference, so you don't have to watch it all at once. You can maybe watch a bit, and if you're not sure of something you can come back to it. I will try to cover everything that I can think of, but if you do have any further questions you can ask any of your English teachers, because lots of them are media teachers in disguise, or you can ask of course your media teacher, or you can email me directly. The course is broken down as follows. At AS Year 1 and A2 Year 2 you will have one examination and one creative project. Let's start with the AS. So the examination is divided into 3 parts. Section A is an unseen question, so you won't have seen the text before you see it in the exam. It will be an advert of some kind, print or audiovisual, or a music video. And there'll be a focus on media language and representation. This built on the gender study that you would have done at GCSE, again looking at an unseen text. But here you will look at other factors of representation, so things like ethnicity, culture, age. You'll also be introduced to a whole range of new critical perspectives. Experts and academics who pose theories about media, and you'll be encouraged to question their validity and evaluate them. Sounds pretty clever, right? Then, section B is all about news in the online age. And I know what you're thinking. Oh, newspapers, they're so boring, what's the point in them, they're so old-fashioned, no one ever reads newspapers anymore. Wrong. This section is actually really exciting because it's completely unique to every single class. You will study an event that no other class has studied or will ever study, because this is the most current and constantly updated section of the entire course. The ever-changing nature of news means that we pick something as current and relevant as possible to study. It's also exciting because you get to pick apart the very industry that informs us as a nation, and you get to see how they construct stories and conform to the ideology of their target audience. We also look at how news outlets have adapted to the digital age, looking at social media and the end of audience theory by Clay Shirky, which assumes that we are all prosumers, so we all create media now and are therefore not just an audience. The power of Twitter cannot be overstated. This is one of those units that really gives you that Matrix moment. It really makes you view the world around you in a completely different way. What did I say about being informed and discerning consumers of media? The final section, section C, focuses on film. We'll look at 2 films actually. We'll look at one that's a high-budget Hollywood film and a corresponding Welsh independent film, but both in the same genre. There's a few to pick from, so we can pick the pairing that best fits the class in front of us. Here we explore genre codes, we explore media language, narrative. Here we explore genre codes, media language and also industry, looking at how films are produced, distributed and exhibited, and also looking at the funding process for both Hollywood mainstream and independent films. So that's the examined unit, and that is worth the bulk of the AS level. There's also then the creative project. The percentages are a little bit weird because of the way that AS and A2 are weighted, but it's just worth knowing that the exam is worth about 2/3 of the course and the coursework's worth about 1/3. So the creative project asks you to take all the elements that you've looked at in terms of analysing existing media texts and use them to create your own. You will have the chance to create a short film or a film publicity campaign. There are also additional options, and if you're really interested in a specific option that is not part of the film brief, then of course we can discuss that specific brief with you further. Alright, that's the AS covered, so that's your first year. If you choose to take media for the full 2 years to gain the full A level, then your second year is as follows. As mentioned before, you will again have an examination and a creative project. Once again, the examination has 3 sections. At A2, you will be asked to have knowledge of all 4 key areas, so industry, audience, media language, and representation. You will also be asked to understand context, so the social, historical context of the media product that you're looking at. Section A looks at TV crime drama. We'll look at genre, industry, character, narrative, and a whole load of other perspectives, as well as looking at the industry and how it's had to adapt to things like streaming services and online platforms for television. We'll be looking at Hinterland, which is an award-winning Welsh crime drama and was filmed in a unique way with the Welsh and the English versions shot back to back. We'll also be looking at a European crime drama and a historical crime drama. Section B explores the magazine industry, another industry that's had to make huge changes in order to adapt to the digital age of media. We will look at mainstream and independently published magazines and investigate the issues surrounding them, such as representation, industry, and audience expectation. Section C, and a firm favourite among students, is video games. And no, we won't be playing the video games. However, that's not actually why it's a firm favourite. It's a favourite because this is where we really bring in some university level skill, debate and discussion. We'll be using the games as case studies for wider debates, such as fandom, identity and media effects. Do violent video games breed violent behaviours in players, for example? A2 study introduces some much more challenging critical perspectives as well. Many of them are actually commonly addressed in undergraduate degrees in media and communication, sociology, psychology, etc. The emphasis on critical thinking and debate in this unit really lends itself well to higher education, research and discussion. The creative project at A2 also sets students up well for both a career in industry and higher education. First, you'll be asked to conduct research into an area that is of particular interest to you. For example, you could look at representation of women in crime drama, or the construction of narrative in a special interest magazine on horse riding, or genre codes present in a coming-of-age teen drama. You'll be expected to use critical theory and to cite this in your research essay, and it's one of the closest things you'll get to university-style research. Based on your findings, you'll then create a cross-media production. The cross-media production asks you to create a media text, and then to create another media text that's different, but complements it. For example, you could create a TV show and then create a Radio Times that has interviews with the cast. Or you could create a special interest magazine and then have an online advert encouraging people to read the latest issue. This component is a fantastic demonstration of project work and is a great asset to your portfolio for many future creative careers, as well as being a really strong example of high-level academic research. Lots of this may sound familiar to you if you're currently studying GCSE media. It is a step up and it builds on the knowledge and skills that you will have gained throughout your GCSE studies. But completing the GCSE course will be of great advantage to you and potentially afford you time and opportunity to pursue media study outside of the exam specification and range of texts on offer. We have a range of enrichment opportunities available to support the study of the course, but also to push you and challenge you further in areas that particularly interest you. These allow you to fulfill your personal interests and also allow you to explore maybe options for your next steps. These include, but are not limited to, specific eras or areas of interest in film, gaming, media production, media design, and media debates, to name but a few. We can facilitate students writing and submitting articles for potential publication in a national magazine on a media topic of your choice, producing podcast episodes that can feature on iTunes and Spotify, and creating media productions that can be submitted for awards both at school and national level. It's worth mentioning that you can take Media Studies A-Level if you've not taken the GCSE. There will be a steeper learning curve and it is worth talking to people who study media at GCSE to understand exactly what the subject involved, because it is quite academic in places. But if you really put the work in, you will be able to build that knowledge base to be able to tackle some of these new texts. Media is a subject that fits well with many options. Most obviously English and English literature, but also photography, art, psychology, sociology, IT, business, and even sciences and technology. Past students have gone on to study film, journalism, marketing, and have taken an interest in media law, PR, social media management, and the creative industries. 80% of our current sixth form cohort have university offers related to media in some way, and the skills they've gained will be invaluable no matter what route they choose to take next. So that's everything. There was an awful lot of information to get through. If you do require any further information about specific things, if you have a particular question, or if you just want to chat about whether media studies is particularly right for you, then as mentioned before, you can speak to any of your English teachers who can give you some more information, or feel free to email me directly. Thanks, and I look forward to seeing some of you in media studies next year.